Welcome back, operators, to the 8th and final episode of the Escape from Tarkov Field Guide. The last but not least mechanic on our list is the option to play as a Scav. While clicking through the main menu, you might have noticed that you can start a raid not only as your PMC main character, but also as a Scav, a local bandit with random equipment who is ready to bring whatever loot he finds into your stash for free. While playing as a Scav, it's important to be familiar with certain rules and tricks, and today we'll talk about them. Let's begin. As mentioned earlier, every 10 to 30 minutes you can start a raid as a Scav. This character has completely random gear, including weapons, armor, if any, and the junk that the character has found beforehand. You spawn in an ongoing raid when the main action is probably nearing its end. Time is most likely not on your side, and your looting business might be in short supply, so you gotta be quick. First, check out the stuff your Scav already has, because you might find something pretty good in your pockets. And if so, you can just run to the extract. However, things aren't always that simple, as we know. While playing as a Scav, you have very different escape routes depending on the location you're at. In some situations, you can leave through the standard PMC exfils, but generally, Scavs use their own beaten paths. After all, they are the locals here. The main advantage of playing as a Scav is that if you successfully escape from the location, you can transfer all the loot to your stash without risking your main contractor's gear. The opportunities are endless, finding household items needed for tasks, acquiring weapons and equipment, earning some quick cash, and much more. There's a real treasure waiting to be discovered out there for those who are just not yet ready to risk their PMC's gear. The downsides, of course, because this is Tarkov, are also there. Scavs cannot complete main tasks given by traders. Essentially, this random hobo works directly for you, not the traders, meaning you can't raise your standing with them with the exception of Fence. When playing as a Scav, Fence is your ticket to success in the chaos-ridden city of Tarkov. However, he has a set series of rules that are best to follow if you want to cooperate with your fellow hobos and not be a loner. First and foremost, there is an unspoken ceasefire between the Scavs, meaning they're not going to shoot first. That's why, if you have the audacity to kill your Scav buddy, don't expect any mercy from the gang. They're all gonna start shooting back. Coincidentally, killing such a traitor is an honorable deed, and you'll earn Fence's respect for doing so. Icing mercs that flood the city and interfere with the local authorities' business is also highly appreciated. Speaking of authorities, you probably shouldn't piss off the Scav bosses. Expect a really serious penalty for doing so. But who wouldn't want a badass killer helmet though, right? As long as you got the guts to face the consequences. Nevertheless, sometimes you can manage to avoid bloodshed and use your contractor knowledge by trying to leave the location through the so-called co-op exfils. For some inexplicable reason, Fence approves of such cooperation, even though this merc might have terminated your Scav bros just a couple hours ago. Risk it or not, it's up to you. You can also track how your standing has changed in the statistics window after the raid. So what kind of goodies does Fence provide, and is it worth bending your back for it and putting yourself in harm's way? Well, let me tell you, it's worth it. High Fence standing gives a reduced Scav raid cooldown. Even though your Scav's gear is random, with a better standing, you might spawn with a good gun more often, which is going to give you a chance to fight even the toughest thugs. Meanwhile, your bum backpack might spawn with extra rare and valuable items as well. Believe it or not, your hideout also receives some love. With higher fence standing, you can hire scavs to find various goodies for cash or even moonshine with a reduced cooldown. By the way, the upgraded Intelligence Center also reduces the raid cooldown for your scav. Over time, Fence's item prices will start to look more reasonable, although they are still far from normal market value. Now, when your standing reaches 6 or higher, that's where the fun begins. In addition to the fact that Fence will start selling weapons and items left by players during raids, the local bosses and their guards will no longer see you as hostile. This opens up some very interesting tactical opportunities. For better or worse, the latter only works when playing as a scav. Now, I just don't have the time to list all of the benefits. The list is quite long. Let's just say that earning the reputation and standing with Fence is absolutely as important as it is with the other traders. Since we've talked about the scav rep, it makes sense to also reveal some facts about the so-called karma. This is a hidden set of characteristics that defines your way of doing things in Tarkov. Your karma is judged by Jaeger's lifelong friend, Partisan. Whether he keeps a close eye on the entire Norvingst region or treats everyone he meets as an enemy is still up in the air. The main factor of his presence on the map is a large number of tripwires in various areas of interest for the PMCs. To meet him is sheer coincidence, although if Partisan came for you purposefully, your fate's already sealed. On the other hand, not every chance encounter with him will lead to a gunfight. Partisan observes, studies habits, and seeks to purge Tarkov of an unseen threat known only to himself and his odd delusions. And that's it. This guide turned out to be quite lengthy, but now you know that playing as a scav is not only fun, but it can also be extremely rewarding. We hope that this knowledge will be useful for newcomers in their first and often not so peaceful raids. Good luck to you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your lives. 41 out.